The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. If you enjoy our work, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow the links in the description. Thanks for your support, and enjoy.
Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined, as always, by my podcast pal, The Boy.
Hey.
This is the Two Nerds Podcast, and this week we are talking about fucking whatever.
Yeah, well, you know the part of the Death Note podcast we said that would happen that never happened? Well, guess what's happening? We've both done a bunch of stuff in recent little while, and none of it's something that is worth an entire podcast, but I wanted to talk about a bunch of it, and I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, and this week was kind of weird because fourth roommate had certain days off that made me not realize it was Saturday until it was Saturday. So I kind of went, uh-oh, what are we podcasting about? And Boy's like, remember the stuff we were going to do last week that never happened. So while we could have watched The Tick or something else, this also works.
And also, we're going to do that in the future.
Yep.
So, do you want to start or should I?
No, I think you.
Okay. I've been doing a couple different things over the last couple weeks. The thing I want to talk about first is the thing I've been doing most recently that I found the most fun, which is playing Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. It is... Everyone on the internet who has played this gives it rave reviews for being amazing and hilarious and wonderful, and I have to say, after careful consideration, they're all right. This is fucking great. This is a great video game. I've never played a Far Cry game before. I've played other Ubisoft games, so, I've played most of a Far Cry game before. But, this one is a Far Cry game which has been patinaed over with a layer of fucking awesome and, Kung Fury levels of beautiful early 90s, late 80s, badass cyber cool that it's not even usually my thing, and I love it.
Yeah, that's very much more my thing. It's why I downloaded it. I love Retrowave, period. And its many offshoots. But, and I gotta thank you, current generation, because I didn't have a name for all that shit for a long time. I just knew, I like things when they're badass and there's neon lights and it's usually pretty dark. Cyberpunk? Not quite. No, Retrowave is the word, and I love it. But I hadn't gotten around to it because there's just other games I want to play. There's other games I paid for that I want to play.
Yeah, we got this free for Xbox Live.
Yeah. Not counting my Steam library, which the next Steam game I buy will be my 100th Steam game.
Yeah, it does. You don't notice, but they build up.
It adds up, Jerry.
It adds up. I have so many fucking video games I have not played. And what do I do?
Yeah. Oh, the Xbox is no different. We've had Xbox Live since before we had an Xbox One, since before the Games with Gold program started. So
we've got them all.
Well, no, we don't, because I didn't download many of them because I went, I don't care. This month, for example, Forza.
We've had the opportunity to get all of them.
Yes, we certainly have.
And I've actually played a couple of them. Have I talked about Watch Dogs on the podcast?
No, I don't think so.
I haven't played it recently, but it's another game we got free that I really wouldn't have paid for because it didn't get great reviews. It's fun. The protagonist is, just the worst person in the story. And there's something to be said for that because he's done very realistically. He just also is a terrible person. The gameplay's pretty fun. I can understand why people didn't like it, and I can understand why people like Watch Dogs 2 more. But I was never sold the false bill of goods those people were sold. So I was able to take the game as it is, where you're playing a terrorist who happens to have some apps on his phone. Whereas they were told they were going to be playing Hacker Man, and that's not who you're playing.
It's not really my cup of tea. I downloaded it to check it out. Watching Boy play it has been enough. I will say the map is great. There's a lot of really diverse locations that, it's all the city, but it looks...
Except for the part that is the sticks.
Yeah, but it's not Like, it looks like a real city with, like, the different, cultures and coats of paint and colors you'd see in a real
It's
city.
actually a really good map.
Yeah, I was really impressed by it, and the lighting is fantastic.
But the gameplay isn't your jam.
No, not my cup of tea at all.
The other thing I played recently was Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2.
You did play that?
Finally got around to that. Same thing. I've been going on let's see what free games Xbox has given me that I have never played.
I download stuff for him if I think it looks interesting or if I know he liked previous games, and that was one of them because he played the first one.
I did.
I played the demo for, I think, the second one where you're Darth Vader and you kill a bunch of Ewoks.
That's the demo for the first one.
Was that the first one? Okay, I didn't care for
it. I like the first one. I like the story for the first one. I like the story for the first one is canon.
Is it still?
I mean, like, insofar as anything else they've erased in the great J.J. Abramsing. It was canon, we shall say. But the thing is, like, I don't know if the second one's story is canon, but I don't care because it's also not very good. The story, I mean, the gameplay's The Force Unleashed. It's fine. The bosses go on for about one stage too long. All of them universally have that exact same problem of, all right, cut one of these stages, and we're good. The game's not terribly challenging. There's a challenging, like, eat my shorts, asshole mode, but that's not really me. I'm not a Dark Souls player. It was fun. It was, 4 hours, do you think? Total?
God, something like that. You blazed through it.
Well, I'm also kind of good at Force Unleashed games because I played the first one.
Yeah.
I like 100% of the first one. I did not do that to this one. I didn't even bother doing second ending. And you can select the level for that. I just didn't want to do that Vader boss fight again. Because again,
you
it goes
did
on.
encounter that game-breaking glitch that the game gently pushed you past, though. That was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was... I fell through the floor in such a way as I was in a box that was invisible, and I was invisible, and I couldn't jump out of the box, and people were trying to shoot me, but they couldn't get into the box, and I couldn't get out of the box.
And the whole world was starting to look like that new game that just came out where you, go inside people's minds.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what, we'll just cancel this, we'll just quit. And then I'll have to do that whole platforming section again. The most annoying platforming section so far in the whole game. And I turned the game back on, and it dropped me at what I found out was the checkpoint after the end of that section. The game was like, fair play to you, we'll skip past it.
Yeah.
Other stuff I've done this week, or do you want to go have a...
I can let you think for a while I talk about some of the shit I've done.
A lot of video games for me. It's been a nice change.
Yeah, I've gotten back into League after trying. I think I'm there, knock on wood. I did it softly so as not to spike the mic.
I got you, fam.
Thanks. I haven't been playing. I do want to get the last 5 games of my placements because I haven't not yet since I started playing League. I'm sure I'm bronze, but whatever. Really what I'm trying to work toward before I do that.
Didn't I play silver once?
I think so.
That's so wrong. I got carried.
You did, and I was baffled.
He's better than me.
I don't know about that. But, I fell out of favor with League because...
They kept changing shit.
Well, okay, so it was a problem of 3 tiers, all right? Tier number 1, Light left. And as I predicted, after Light left, the user base got more and more and more toxic. Because after Light left, or before it even, they removed the, I don't even remember what it's called anymore, where the players decided... The tribunal, yes. Where the players decided whether or not someone was guilty of the things they were reported for. They stopped pushing player behavior as a key point, and the toxicity of the League player base just came back in spades. So that was hard.
And it already had the most toxic player base online, and it's not close.
Now, the big turning point was when people were getting mad during Earth because you weren't following the meta for a game mode that at the time showed up for a week once a year.
But there was such a codified meta for it, because nerds are nothing if not efficient at gamifying things, even games, that if you weren't following the meta, your team was going to lose. 100%. Which fucked with the nature of that mode. It's supposed to be fun, Susan.
Which is why they started doing error.
Which is just, it brings the fun back. It fixed it.
Yeah, I mean, that was like a nice, because they had to have noticed, because they did that before they started working on player behavior. Ages, a year at least. So, then it was the changes to everything. Like, man, I kept up with Surrender at 20. I still did while I wasn't playing because, I like those people. Shout out to Asian Beat. You're a cool person. But
Mubi can go fuck himself, I guess.
Well, I don't know. He didn't talk to me.
Fair enough.
Asian Beat is nice to me. Mubi is fine. He gave me a skin once. Like, I got lucky. Not like he personally gave it to me, but anyway. I tried to keep up with patch notes and stuff, but there was like just a point where they were like, all right, we got to fix fucking everything, which, fair play to them. A lot of shit needed fixing. But it was so much to keep up with. It was so overwhelming. And I lost pace with what the fuck I was doing.
And then there was the third problem, which I think was the one that killed you.
Yeah. I just, that was the hill I died on. Where they changed ranked queuing.
They changed it and fixed it so that you could select your role, which fixed so much of the toxicity problem in ranked.
Yeah.
And regular normal games, by the way. The queue is the same, just different queue. It changed so much, it fixed so much of the toxicity. Then they realized that nobody wants to play support because support isn't fun for most people. I enjoy it, but most people aren't me. So they never had any support players, so they had to break the thing they fixed by saying, okay, you can pick your role, but sometimes we'll put you in a different one. Because...
Queue times, basically.
Queue times, yeah, because nerds are impatient. So, deal with that. Eat it. And both of us, I think, summarily went, or play other video game.
Basically. I mean, so much had happened by that point that I just couldn't truck with it anymore. And I believe Ghostcrawler, Greg Street, has said since then that was not the way to handle that situation.
No, because it was stupid.
Yeah.
And pissed off basically their whole fan base to such an extent that I like playing support and I was mad because I had to deal with those other people.
Well, here's the trick. It wasn't just support. That's the logical progression, right? Nobody's playing support, so we have to make the support fill queue to show up. Except that most of the time, even when I queued to play support, because that's what I did. My 5 placement matches, I queued for support. One of those I ended up playing top, which was awesome because I love top, and one of those I ended up jungling, which isn't great because they keep changing the fucking jungle.
Yeah, they've always had a hard time. They talk about this a lot. At least they did like a fucking year ago when I played League.
Sure, when this was a bigger issue.
They mention a lot that the problem is that they can't figure out how to fix the jungle because either the jungler wins the match, either he's the only role that really matters, or he's the only role that doesn't matter at all, and there's really no middle ground. At least, again, they may have fixed it in the intervening time, but that was the problem, is they didn't know how to balance it between the jungler being the only role that actually matters, and the only role that gets to actually make decisions, and then the other option being, I don't know, go fucking play with your toys, you're not important.
Yeah, I don't play at a high enough level to really feel what they were talking about.
But they have to balance for the high
Sure.
level because esports is such a big deal.
And they have to balance for the high level as well as the lower levels. It doesn't happen as much. It is weighted. I'm not going to pretend like it's not, but they do take that shit into consideration because I've seen high level players going, what are you talking about with bruh change? This is not a problem. And they go, it's not a problem where you are.
all the people in your games know to use hard CC against Singed. All the people in your games know to use hard CC against Master Yi and then kill him before it's over. Bronzies don't get that. I'm sorry.
And support, it's not playing support that is the problem. It's not the act of taking care of someone else and not getting all the mad kills and sweet plays, bro. I enjoy playing support in that way. You are kind of like a field general. You know, you are, especially if you're playing a tank like Braum or Tom Kench. And if
or
you're
Volibear.
Not, or
That's
Volibear.
right. I play Volibear support, and I usually win. Well, again, a year ago when I played League. But I'm bronze, so I can get away with whatever I want, really.
Right. And when you're healing, if you've got a good healer, you know, you feel really good about keeping your team alive. I think they finally got to a good place with most healers. Soraka's still broken, but what do you want?
Rip. Rest in peace, sweet baby.
Yeah, you know, that's not the part that bothers me. The part that bothers me is that my success is entirely dependent on the asshole I'm paired with. And I understand that's like kind of a logic you can apply to the entire team, but whereas top, jungle, middle, and ADC have the opportunity to shift the destination of your team by being really good as an individual, the margin of possibility for a support to do that is way, way smaller.
You can do it, but you have to be like an elo better than the entire enemy team.
Or just be in a situation where every shot you're making matters, and they happen not to fuck it all up. Boy watched me once play Braum. League gave away a free champ, and I was committed to play that champ for X number of weeks a couple of years ago. And they gave me Braum, and I didn't care for Braum, but I had him, and I committed to it, so I was doing it. So I played at least one game a day as Braum, and boy watched one night as I carried 4 other motherfuckers across that finish line. And it felt great, but like that opportunity does not come along often. It's not within the support's wheelhouse. So like if at 3 minutes in your AD carry won't engage
or does engage when that's not the thing they should be doing,
or just decides to throw a bitch fit because they're not getting their way in some manner or another, you're fucked. Your lane is fucked, and there's only so much you can do. That is why I don't like playing support. It has nothing to do with the mechanics of the game. Period. But I've been playing Arams. Once I get enough IP to unlock Rakan, I'm going to finish my 5 placement matches.
Yeah, because I think I bought the lady, didn't I?
Zaya,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do that too, that's fine. But I love Rakan so much.
I'm actually still quite enjoying Overwatch. I've been playing a lot more of that recently, basically since they fixed the loot system.
Yeah, that's another thing we can talk about a little bit. Deathmatch can go fuck itself, but team deathmatch is great.
I played Deathmatch once, I got my free loot box, and I have never played it again, because it seems like death. It seems like the least fun mode I could possibly think of in that game.
Everything we just talked about League, about, you know, the meta being a huge thing, becomes such a huge thing in Deathmatch mode. You can watch people shift, the entirety of the philosophy shift to counter metas being created as this game mode starts up. And I played it day one.
It started off with Symmetra, then it moved to Junkrat. Now I believe it was Torbjorn for a while. Also, just fun fact, I don't know what consoles, but on PCs it was Torbjorn for a while because one of the top Overwatch players in the world, well, one of the top Overwatch YouTubers in the world, he's not a pro player, did really well and posted a video where he did really well with Torbjorn, and then that became a thing.
It started out with Pharah, actually.
And then Symmetra to counter
Then
Pharah.
Symmetra, yeah.
Because
Symmetra goes inside and then Pharah's fucked.
Pharah can come in and get wrecked if you want.
And then it switched to Junkrat because Junkrat can 100-0 Symmetra with his little double bombs.
I hate those double bombs. I actually hate them. They are the shittiest change. Because they can 100-0 basically anyone who isn't a tank. And they take almost no skill. It's just click, 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 click. It's 4 button presses. You don't have to aim. It's 4 button presses in the vague direction of whoever you're trying to murder, and they're just dead.
Yeah, they were talking about how Junkrat wasn't super viable before, but I didn't think that was a problem. He was fine.
But, like, maybe they mean on PC where it's...
Well, usually they do different changes.
That's true. That's one of the things I like about Overwatch is they balance differently for the different systems. That's very nice of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, since they fixed the loot system, because it was broken. It was shit. It was genuinely shit.
It was good for us, but not for them. They stopped that, I want to say, either after Halloween or after Christmas. And then they changed to a system that was way less giving out free shit.
That's the system I'm talking about. Their first loot box system was fine, and I'm sure it wasn't great for them, but they fixed, and I'm using the biggest air quotes possible, they fixed it by basically making it so that I who have maybe, we did this actually, I did the math on this, 24% of the overall Overwatch unlocks. If you add up all the possible unlocks for each hero, I've got about 24% of them. I was regularly getting 3 duplicates a box. That's unacceptable.
Well, what they changed was that the rares, the purples and the golds, you started getting less. Like, they made them more rare, and the other shit more common.
And like, that's not all they changed.
Well,
because I was regularly getting 3 duplicates a box, and I haven't gotten, since they changed it so you don't get duplicates until you run out of loot of that class now, I haven't gotten duplicates for grays.
Well,
I have plenty of grays left to unlock.
But that's not what I'm saying. It's basically what it was before is, when it started-ish, it was, okay, random roll, you get what you get. This is going to be a little more rare, it's going to be a little more common. Uh-oh, people are dropping $10 on our special holiday skins and getting everything they wanted. Fuck that noise. Let's make the rare stuff more rare.
Oh, well, we've made the rare stuff more rare, but haven't done anything to counteract the fact that there is nothing preventing you from getting a duplicate, even if you have most of that class of loot left to unlock. And I swear duplicates were weighted to show up more after that update, because they did show up a lot more.
It might have been what they did to try to get you more currency. Because I remember in one of the updates, Jeff Kaplan was talking about how they had to add in more frequent currency drops to make up for the lack of duplicates. But overall, just getting money feels a lot better as a person getting something than getting a duplicate.
Because the duplicate return is so shit.
Yeah,
that's the amount of money you get at that level. Like, a gray dupe gets you what you get for a gray money drop.
Yeah.
But given how much a gray thing to unlock costs, it's such a shit ratio that you just feel cheated. I'd rather you just give me the money directly, Jeff.
Yeah, well, it's a little box full of gold, and you go, I got gold, instead of, I got a spray that I already have, motherfucker. Like, it's just that difference, man. It's like the business thing. I went out to eat. I really pronounced my T's there for some reason.
I went out to eat, and now I'm Dane Cook, and it was good, and I ate it with my mouth.
That's what I said when I was finished. Anyway, that bit's over, don't worry. I went to Outback Steakhouse. They'd remodeled the interior and exterior. It had been a while since my wife and I had gone because they changed up their menu in a way we didn't like. So we had some extra cash. We were celebrating something. We went. I ordered something that they had just ran out of. So the manager came over and was like making a big deal to try to make it right by me. And I'm like, lady, I will just order something else. But she was being kind of pressury. She was like, I would recommend this. And I'm like, all right, I'll try that. So they bring it out, and like, it was just shrimp with this glaze. But somehow, either the way the breading interacted with the shrimp or the way the glaze interacted with the breading was gross. Like, I'm big on texture, so, that's me complaining, but the breading was gross. Tasted okay. So I couldn't eat it. I didn't want to eat it. I just let him know, I don't want this. I'd like to order something else. And, I was like, I'll just order a steak. It's more expensive, but whatever. I know I'll eat it. So, manager comes back, makes this big, huge deal, and I'm like, I'm not being mean. I'm being nice. I got my nice man, my work voice on, if you will. She gives us, she takes off the food I didn't want, like stuff I didn't like, which I expected, and she gives me the steak for free. The steak it was fine. It was good. I ate it. Thank you, but you didn't have to do that, which is exactly what I said. But it's that Disney logic. A guest experience that has gone poorly and has been made better
is almost better than just a good guest experience.
Well, it usually is, actually. The people are going to feel better about that you did your best to make the mistake good. They're going to remember that more than got what I paid for.
Yeah, and in that way, I like Overwatch more because not just because the loot system is better now, but because they fixed it. And I can visually see that they fixed the thing that was bothering me.
Yeah, and that's really nice. I'm excited for a lot of the changes that are coming down the pipeline.
Same. I actually think the Mercy changes look really good.
Yeah, it makes me want to try out Mercy again.
It lets me get rid of the incredible fallacy thinking that takes over your brain when you're playing Mercy of, I can't just res one person. I need at least two. I need at least two people to die. I'm not going to spend my res on just one dude. And then the second person that dies is you.
Yeah.
Now it's, my res is up, res a person. Res is up, res a person. My ult's up, time to go DPS Mercy and kill everyone.
Or chain heals. That sounds
Blood
so
and
awesome.
thunder. I think we both know what I will be doing. Chaining heals. I'm actually a really good support.
The Roadhog changes are live.
I love them. I love them. I love the Roadhog changes so much.
I'm still not used to his new gun.
His new hook is still shit. I don't like his new gun, but I'm getting used to the trick of, because it used to be you could hook, headshot, kill. Mm-hmm. Everyone who wasn't a tank, hook, headshot, kill. And I got pretty good at hook, headshot, kill. Now it's hook, headshot, shoot again. And you have to walk forward while you're doing that so that when they're obviously going to be walking away from you, you maintain the distance necessary to kill. It's a much more aggressive styling, and to account for that, they made it so he moves when he uses his hog regen now, and I love it. It's such a QOL change. Yeah,
it's nice. I will say that. I'm still not great with his gun, but I'd say 100% that him being able to heal while he moves is a good change. D.Va's getting some changes. Right now they're looking at giving her rockets and reducing her shield and letting her do shit. They're basically moving her
more aggressive as opposed to more defensive, which is good because Jeff Kaplan said it best. Defensive Matrix was really suppressive. When it was up, you basically just had to wait for her to be out, and it could be up so often.
I didn't realize how good it was. My wife mains D.Va, and
she's better than both of us at Overwatch.
Oh my God. I thought it wasn't true, but then I did my placements, and yes. I am maybe slightly better, but if I have exactly the characters I want, if I get characters I'm not good with, I'm fucked.
Fun fact: there's a reason she's doing better than us at Overwatch. Right now, in the current Overwatch meta, with the way the characters work and all the decision making you have to do, one tricks are actually overly rewarded for their dedication. Because you become such an expert in that one character's mechanics and how they face against different people and the things you need to do in a given situation, that it's actually better. A lot of pros are one tricks now. They will do one hero. That's their guy. Because it's better, even if it's a slightly substandard matchup, to stick with your champ who you know the best. Because of the way Overwatch is set up right now, they are disproportionately rewarded for sticking with one person over trying to be flexible.
That's probably why I've been doing so well with Soldier, because Soldier is such a good all-rounder. He's not a healer, but he has a little bit of heals. He's not a tank, but he can take a few shots.
He's not a sniper, but if your aim is on point, you can do pretty well.
And, I didn't start out being best with Soldier. I wouldn't even call him one of my mains. I wouldn't. But right now, I've been abusing him.
I wouldn't have called Soldier one of my mains because, as we've discussed before in the podcast, he takes the ability to aim, and we play Overwatch on console, and I'm the most garbage in the universe on console shooters, but I'm doing really well with Soldier because he's just such a good all-rounder that I can flex into a lot of different positions without having to use different mechanics.
Yeah. So he's a very safe pick. He is my safe pick. If I have the opportunity to roll face, May, Torbjorn.
My safe pick is May. Or not May, I'm sorry. My safe pick is Mercy. And then if we're on defense, on a control point, or if we're on defense on a cart push, I will use Symmetra until we get broken through and they're pushing the cart. And if we're on defense on control points, I will use Symmetra. Because, I'm on defense, at least, I know how to play Symmetra. Because, no, she can't aim. It's not about being able to aim. You're playing a different kind of game. Like Heimerdinger in League. You're not here for the skill shots, you're here for tactics. It's not about putting DPS forward, it's about knowing where to place your turrets.
Yeah.
To maintain map awareness.
Brandy actually tried Symmetra out earlier today in the little test map.
Right.
And she was like, oh, this is a very thought-heavy character. And, I was like, yeah, it's more about where you put her turrets and getting them on people. She's like, yeah, it takes a lot of, like, strategic thinking and stuff. I said, yeah, this is probably Boy's favorite character. And she was like, yeah, I get that. So
it's about knowing where to put your shit.
And I do like Symmetra on 2 specific points. Although one of them I've been floating more Torbjorn lately just because I'm better with his gun, basically, and his survivability.
God, second point Anubis. She's so good.
I use her first point Anubis and first point in Numbani.
Also, second point Moonanite base or whatever, she's fucking unstoppable.
Yeah, I've seen other people play her there. I've only been on that map twice.
First point Moon base, she's useless, to be fair.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I wanted to talk about?
I remember a couple of them. I wasn't quite done.
Oh, cool. Yeah, go.
Yet. My current problem in Overwatch is now that I don't have Roadhog anymore, he was my tank. I don't have a tank.
Because you don't like Reinhardt.
I mean, he's fine, but he's got such a specific job, and it's boring.
You don't like Orisa.
I just don't like the character.
Yeah.
Like, mechanics-wise, I'm okay with her. But, like, God, she's
pretty, like, boilerplate.
Bastion has more character to him.
Yeah. That's kind of the point, is she's the Steve Blackman of Overwatch.
I guess, yeah. I eat only the plain rice cakes.
I want that voice line now, Jeff, if you're the listener.
Yeah. Plain, my favorite flavor.
But
Winston, I fucking hate.
Yeah, you actively despise Winston.
He's like,
you hate Zarya.
God, no, and I'm terrible with her. Like,
I'm also terrible with her because I don't know what you're supposed to do with her.
I see people do shit and I'm like, their Zarya is unkillable, and then I try to translate that into me doing a shit, and no.
Yeah, it's you know that joke there, Genji is like a clip from an anime of a ninja going through a horde of mooks. Our Genji is Star Wars kid. That's me. It's their Zarya, an unstoppable Russian killing machine. Like, was it the Russian Jaeger? Our Zarya, me, is, I don't know, a Pinto?
4 dudes in tracksuits getting drunk in a car with no wheels.
Yeah.
Somewhere cold.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
And, like, I get it.
Other Zaryas I fight are unstoppable murder machines who kill me, and there's not anything I can do. They're unstoppable Russian engines of destruction. I play Zarya, and I am made of a combination of tissue paper and explosions.
Same. I'm garbage with it. Diva's kind of my default right now, just because I get her mechanics.
Oh, so you might like the changes, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to those. And,
just shooting while you fly will be so good.
Who's the other tank? There's one more, isn't there? Or am I just
Reinhardt, Orisa, Zarya, Winston, Diva. No, that's fine.
No, that's all.
That's
okay.
good.
And I don't have a healer. Again, I will default to Lucio because
you like
he's
his
easy
skin?
mode. Oh yeah, and I spent all my money on that sweet ass skin. But I don't have to worry about where my heals are directed.
I like all the healers.
I don't, man.
I like all the healers for different things.
I guess Ana is like the closest thing to my best, but I have so many gripes about her.
Yeah, no, I hate Ana. Because again, Ana takes the ability to aim. And not only aim at enemies, I have to aim at that leaping douchebag Genji who I'm trying to heal. Stop it. Stop jumping, you asshole. I'm trying to heal you. And, it's just, no, I don't like Ana. But I use Mercy is very good for a couple different situations. She's my all-rounder. I'm the best with her, so she's who I'll use. If I am having a situation where we're not taking much damage, but we really need more DPS to get through a chokehold, I'll use Zenyatta. If we're in a situation where, I just feel like we really need to get around, where we're just everyone's not getting to the point at once, we're straggling, I'll change to Lucio, wait for everyone to spawn, and speed boost them all to the point at once, just to get us where we need to be. And, if we're on defense, and it's a control point, I'll use Symmetra.
Who's not a healer.
She's in the healer category.
For whatever reason.
She's got shields.
They stopped using her for healing, when it says your team needs a healer, it'll still say that if you have a Symmetra.
Because she's not a healer.
No, she's not a healer.
Soldier is more of a healer.
Everybody drink your juice. Whereas with me, I play Lucio if I don't have any other ideas and I'm stuck being the healer. I play Mercy if I don't mind failing. I will play Ana if I think I can get a good line of sight on my team. And I will play...
So if there's no Genjis. Or
if people aren't moving around too much and if there's not a lot of shit in the way. And I will play Zenyatta if I want to play a damage character, but everyone keeps spamming.
We need healing.
Yeah. So because he's got that cool thing where he makes the opponent weaker. Mm-hmm. He's got his orbs and he's got his charge up orbs. I like those. I call him a mage, really, because he's got magic missile kind of shit, right?
Yeah. He's
got that debuff, and then he's got that silence spell, which puts that yellow orb of silence on the people spamming the need healing emote.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've gotten pretty absurdly good with Mercy, actually. The other day, I got booped into the hole from Lucio, and I shouted no like a cartoon.
It was good.
The no that increases in urgency and pitch as you say it. I'm not going to do it now because I like you, listener. I don't want to blow your eardrums out. Eardrum. I recognize that our audio is weird.
It's not weird. It's like they're listening to us right next to them, surrounding them in a.
They're sitting right here in this gap between us, like the microphone is. So.
But you got booped in the hole.
Yeah, I got booped in the hole, and while screaming no, without fully consciously thinking about it, I spun around, found the Pharaoh who was flying, boosted up to her, then turned and boosted over to the diva and started healing her. And I didn't even consciously think about it till it was over.
Yeah, I would have just died. I would have died long before the booping happened. So, right now, hot talk is about possibly the Queen of Junktown being the next character.
We could use a new DPS hero.
I think we could use another healer, but it's probably...
The Queen of Junktown's probably not going to be.
Probably not going to be a healer. I think she'll probably either be... we can use another defense hero, actually.
Yeah. I don't know. Imagine another character. This doesn't have to be the Queen of Junktown, but imagine a character who did a soldier thing where they could establish zones of healing. And they were more powerful than soldiers, or maybe they were made of a thing that you could destroy. And more powerful. That way she creates focus on the battlefield because your team wants to get into the zone and the enemy team focuses on destroying it. I think that would be very interesting.
Okay, here's an idea. Following that kind of logic. Let's say it's somebody who has 2 canisters, since Zenyatta's got the market cornered on orbs.
Or nuts, if you use my skin.
And I don't.
I slap chop a motherfucker right up.
I bet you do. They got 2 canisters, okay? And the canisters, they can't be damaged or anything, but they can be knocked around. So you drop your canister where it's going to help your team out, and maybe your team can kind of do some stuff with it by knocking it along with them, kicking it or whatever.
No, that's a bad idea.
Or shooting it.
That's a bad idea. You never want to give trolls on your team more options.
Well, but you can also after a certain amount of time summon a new canister or something. It's got a cooldown, but you've got 2.
I think it's better if she can move it. Or, if the character themselves can move it on a cooldown. Yeah,
that might be good. Or just pick it up.
Yeah.
You have to physically be there to move it.
You got to go to it, pick it up.
But I'm thinking about counterplays, because that's why I said maybe it should be able to be moved. Because
by the enemy, sure.
Yeah.
Just not your
by
team.
The team. Okay, I like that. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, a Junkrat would be a good counter to that character.
Yeah, satchel charge your shit over the edge of the map.
And you're just now I have to wait for my respawn instead of I have to go pick that up. I don't know.
It honestly would be better to satchel charge it over somewhere else. That isn't
just satchel charge it into a corner of the map you can't reach, and you're like, son of a bitch.
No, I gotta go fucking pick that up now. That would be cool, I think.
It'd be fun. Anyway, so you've also been trying to watch a lot of TV?
I have. It has not gone well.
No.
One did go well. I finally got around to watching House of Cards. I get it. I get why people like it. It's Game of Thrones, only you're following Littlefinger, except instead of Littlefinger, he's a cool southern guy. but I watched about 3 episodes and went, okay, no, I can see this premise is going to go thin eventually. I'm going to go ahead and wiki and see where it goes thin. And then I know where to stop. Turns out I should stop at the end of the 3rd season. Past that point, it gets wonky. But I could see immediately where the premise was going. And thus, alright, I should see when that, when the premise runs out. Because they're not going to have other ideas. And they didn't. So, I know where to stop. That went well. I have experimented with Stan versus Evil, I believe it's called. Stan Against Evil, excuse me, because it's a joke. That is John C. McGinley as a crotchety old retired sheriff against demons and werewolves and stuff. It's incredibly campy. It's not very good, but I think I would actually watch John C. McGinley paint a house. So
I really liked his commercials for lozenges.
Yeah, he's so funny even when he's playing a character who I kind of actively dislike. In that I do dislike Stan because he's a garbage can. But it went okay. It wasn't a great show. I haven't watched more. I watched about 3 episodes and I was done, I think. But it was a fun experience. Then I tried to watch a new trend has popped up that I was really happy about when it popped up. Because it's a really cool trend. And I was really excited for it. And it was cool brunette ladies fighting demons and shit. Like, cool, badass brunette ladies with, shotguns and cowboy themes. And, that's awesome. And they fight demons and vampires. And there's at least 2 shows with this premise. Some version of that premise. I tried them both. I tried Winona Earp. And I tried Van Helsing. Both are garbage for different reasons. Winona Earp has just terrible writing. The premise is fine. Descendant of Wyatt Earp with a magic gun comes to a town to discover their destiny. And their destiny is, oh, guess what? There's demons. Guess what? They want to kill you. Only the magic gun can kill them. That's a cool idea. Except for the writing is god-awful. Just very bad. And then Van Helsing is actually written really well. The premise is really neat in that the geyser, the super volcano under Yellowstone finally goes off and blocks out the sun so vampires can come out in the daytime. So they do what vampires can do when they come out in the daytime and they take over. But they're like feral 30 Days of Night vampires. So it's like a zombie apocalypse, but it's vampires, not zombies. So your enemies can be kind of smart and they can make plans and shit. Someone is playing the cool brunette with on the promo picture in Netflix has an axe and a shotgun, and it looks really cool and looks like a cool hard ass lady who's gonna fucking blow up vampires, and it's awesome. In the show, none of that is true. She's terrible. She's awful at fight. She keeps getting bitten by vampires, but she's immune. And the vampires who haven't fully gone feral, she actually turns back into humans. And they find this out really soon, and then just don't take advantage of it at all. At all. And the lady who is the cool, obviously chosen one who can turn vampires back into humans, refuses the call so hard that it, and in such an incredibly contrived way that I don't care. I don't care about this person. I honestly, the show would be better if she just got decapitated and I could watch the normal people. I could use The Walking Dead again.
Maybe these shows get good later, but
I live in a universe where there is infinite television programming and movies and video games. You got an episode and a half to hook me, dude. Otherwise, I'm going to move on.
That's TV in general, man. There's a lot of shows I've tried to get into where, the first season sometimes, often, is awful, and you're supposed to get past that and enjoy the rest of the show. And it's okay,
or I could do any of the other great things I could do.
I've advocated for that with a lot of shit, like Taxi Driver. That's a movie that doesn't really come together until the end of the movie.
But that's 2 hours.
Yeah, that's 2 hours of my time.
Well, I mean, but Yeah, not 12, not a season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the first season of X show is bad. Give it some time. No.
Because Brandy and I watched, the first episode of Stranger Things? It wasn't the first two, was it?
I know, you guys didn't get past the first episode, I don't
So
think.
we watched the first episode of Stranger Things. I wasn't impressed.
I mean, he's just wrong. It's okay. He's allowed to be wrong.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm allowed to be wrong. I've heard from a couple of people that episode 3 is where things pick up. Okay.
No, they're wrong also. That show is good from like 6 minutes in.
I'm not... And you don't like the movie The Goonies?
I love the movie The Goonies.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. I was under the impression you didn't.
I love... Dude, this is like Steven Spielberg made a Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
This is the best thing.
And exactly in those places where it make me go, eh. But I'm still willing to give it an episode or two more.
Good.
Whatever.
Because it's okay. It's not forgone yet. You could have the right opinion.
It's not anathema to me. It's just not not what I thought it was.
All memes aside, there's an infinite universe. We live in a time where there's a glut of people trying to entertain us. And I enjoy being entertained. And if you are not doing it, and to that extent, if something I like or recommend to you isn't doing it for you, move on, my dude.
Yeah.
Listener, if I ever recommend you a thing and you start watching it and even if I say give it some time, give it the amount of time you're comfortable giving it, because there's an infinite universe of cool shit. So something else might be a better use of your time.
Speaking of an infinite universe of cool shit, I'd like to end on a happy note, because this is the Two Nerds Podcast. We like to talk about things that make us happy. Listener, I have found wrestling again.
Explain to the listener.
Man, I'm not so hot on WWE these days. You guys know that. I'm going to be super concise and say that in a lot of ways I don't like that WWE has become more like the independent scene. And in a lot of ways that the independent scene doesn't like, the WWE has gotten worse, which I agree with. Man, that burnt me out. And I tried to watch WCPW, but, British strong style doesn't really do it for me. It's cool enough, I guess, but...
It's just not your cup of tea.
No, it's not. It's very plain. Most of your wrestlers are dude in black trunks. It makes me fall asleep.
It's doing the thing that the WWE is doing.
Yeah.
That's like the independent scene that you don't like.
Yeah. Now, I love the crowds. The crowds are great.
Yeah, because they're into it.
Yeah, they're into it. And I love that. But the Japanese stuff. Same with Japanese stuff. It's less like the WWE is being, in that it's better in general, but it still doesn't really spark my interest. However, but a couple of weeks ago, AAA put on their
Triple Mania,
yeah, their WrestleMania, and they put it on Twitch on a live broadcast. The VOD's still up. You can go check it out. They've got an English-speaking channel. They've got a Spanish-speaking channel. I would recommend the Spanish-speaking channel if you're okay with not knowing what they're saying or you understand any Spanish, because the English announcers are horrible and their mics suck. Their mics are worse than our mic.
And let me tell you, listener, you got to get up pretty early in the morning to have worse audio quality than the Two Nerds Podcast.
The Yeti here has done good, and it's a quality, like $100 mic, less than, and we got it for a hell of a lot cheaper than that. But, it's worse than our old mic, which we picked up for $20 at the Walmart.
Which was a webcam.
Yeah, which was a webcam. I've used headset mics that were better than these people were coming out, and they just weren't very good announcers. But
it's harder than it looks.
Oh yeah, it sure is. We found that out firsthand trying to comment on a video game. But the wrestling, dude, I didn't realize how much Viva la Raza.
Yeah, you are lucha in your soul.
And it was a funny thing because my friends have conversations on Messenger about Japanese wrestling all the time, and they'll talk about guys, and I'm like, you could be making these people up for all I know. This could just be some weird joke you're pulling on me. We're like, all right, let's see if we can get him to believe in Kota Konkaki now. I don't fucking know. And I thought Bad Luck Fale's name was Bad Luck Fail for the longest time. So but then this was on, and I'm like, oh, that's Charlie Manson. Oh man, that's Chess Man. Oh hey, there's La Parka. I think that's La Parka too. All these dudes, and I'm like, I know all these guys. This is great. And
and then he was explaining it to me, and I went, "You could be making these people up for all I know." None of these names mean anything to me. Hey, this is Juan Gerco. Okay, sure, that's a name.
Yeah, Juan Gerco, very important in the history of wrestling.
Yeah, okay, sure. If you say so, man.
And the matches were good, and there was blood and ladders, and fucking Phoenix almost killed himself, I guess, because he's crazy.
I know Phoenix.
It was good, dude. Jeff Jarrett showed up, and it was still good.
That's some high praise right there.
Yeah, main event was beautiful. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it, but it was a Luchas de Apuestas match. And man, the stakes for those are so high. And the crowd cared. They cared so much. And they didn't fucking censor things for little kids, because there were little kids all throughout that crowd, and I mean little kids. And little kids weren't crying or anything when people got split the fuck open or bashed around in front of them. They were like, yeah, this is great fun. But when that Luchas de Apuestas match ended, they were like, oh, he lost his mask and thus his honor. Oh, they know. And they get it, and they care, and the adults cared, man. They were full-grown dudes, tears in their eyes. It was amazing. So I would recommend checking that out. Like I said, you can find it on Twitch. I found my wrestling spirit again. Turns out it was in Mexico this entire time, just waiting for me to wander back over. It's good times.
You know what? We're not going to get better than that. Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Fuck it, let's